understand. What? What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of aliens?
Hello, weirdos out there in Weirdo Land. Holy crud. We are back together as a group, and it's been over 1 year. How the hell is everyone doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
Stoked.
Vicky, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
We are glad to have you, Mr. Beckett. Hair poppin'. What's going on, brother?
I got a little JMO from Jaybird, so I'm happy.
Oh yeah. Sorry. There's going to be some technical difficulties tonight.
Am I popping?
You are
you're
popping. First of all, you are popping. You look great. Vicky looks great. Denny's is always on this point.
Well, thank you.
You guys are part of the first Weird and Whatever at my new home. There's going to be technical difficulties. There's going to be audio glitches. There's going to be problems when Denny's hits the clips that we're going to play. Bear with us. It's a practice run. You are the diehards. Give it up to the diehards.
Woo! But it is good to be back and better than Zoom.
It is.
Oh,
but I
gosh.
hated Zoom so much. It was very terrible. Now, just to catch everybody up on what's been going on, I'm going to give everybody 10 seconds to let the audience know what you've been up to for the last year. And then we're going to get into some weird shit. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Beckett, you have 10 seconds to let the audience know. Go.
Grad school, working, horses. That's it.
Okay.
Horses, nice.
My man's still in the horse game.
right.
Vicky, please give us what you're into right now.
Okay, let's see. Last year, broken engagement, but very happy. Working, keeping up with the paranormal and the readings.
I love it. And sweet Denny's, they get to hear you on the KVJ show, but do they really get to know you?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Give it to us.
It's hard to say. I mean, I do KVJ. Been smoking some weed, playing some games. That's pretty much it.
Finish up Grimsley.
Finished up Grimsley, which did consume a good portion of time. Beckett made it into the film as well.
Yeah.
This is my first speaking line.
Yeah, no, it was. If you don't know what we're talking about, Grimsley is the KVJ horror movie. It's up to over 10,000 views now, and you, the people, made that happen. Yes.
Woo! The reviews, I was watching the YouTube comments. The reviews were really positive.
People loved the Grimsley. I'm loving it. I would say it's at 90% Rotten Tomatoes with the KVJ audience. I'm tickled pink. And we had so many of the KVJ audience in the movie, which I love. So thank you all. Keep sharing it. Keep liking it. Keep commenting. You guys rock. That's my pandering comment of the night.
That was nice.
So what I want to really start to delve into and kind of explore, Vicky came to my house for the first time. She's not been at my new house. She has been at every residence I've lived at since I have known you. You've been
2007.
What, 6, 7 houses?
Quite a few.
Yeah. Everyone has proven to us, not everybody, that there's been some activity going on out there.
Right.
You did a very extensive walkthrough today. Please let the good people of this program know what you found.
Well, congratulations. You have outdone yourself this time. Yes. Just so much in my walkthrough. I was touched several times. You have a baby vortex. Someone kept saying that there's something in connection to an object. There is just a ton of stuff.
Now, when you say baby vortex, for people who are just tuning into the program, what is that?
A vortex is basically an opening between this world and the next. And when I say baby, because it can vary in size. You do not have a ginormous one right now. It's fairly small and contained, which is a good thing if you wanted me to close it, which I know you're going to ignore that I just said that. But it's controllable right now. They tend to get larger if you don't take care of them.
Okay, that's, I think, what we're trying to go for, right? Now, sometimes me and Vicky have different goals. Vicky wants me to sleep peacefully. I'm trying to get ghosts and spirits and demons caught on tape, Beckett. See what I'm saying?
I do.
But I think I think that's why it works.
Yes.
She's got great intentions. I'm trying to prove to the people that we got ghosts up in this bitch.
Good cop, bad cop.
Now, Denny's, when you come over here, have you ever felt anything?
I have not. This place is pretty. I mean, maybe I just don't pick up on the vibes of it, but I always find it pretty tranquil. I find it just, especially the backyard, very pleasant.
Now, At any of my places, have you ever picked up on anything?
I don't have anything else to compare it to. No, I haven't. So I
Okay.
mean, they all kind of. But
Now-
I just don't know if I'm on that wavelength.
Now, Vicky, you have someone like me and you that I feel like we feel everything. We feel someone crying in Ohio. A Denny's or a Beckett, they don't feel certain things. Is that because we were born a certain way?
Well, everybody's born that way. It's just some people fine tune it. So if Denny's and Beckett had taken a different path in life, they might be feeling the same things we do, but they just shut off their natural ability.
Because this is a test podcast, I'm going to continuously ask the audience, is everyone's microphone all right? Do we need to back off? Audio?
So yeah,
Am I too close?
Everybody, let us know. I'm actually making adjustments as everyone does their thing because this is kind of the maiden voyage.
I haven't laughed hard yet. That's the true
Oh,
test.
brother, you're gonna.
I'm already looking over here.
I already ordered 3 microphones. They're called the backup. The backup. No, the Beckett backups. me and Beckett did a couple JMOs before this. The one thing I do want to say, Vicky, I feel like in my new place, it's kind of as if it's a buffet of ghosts or spirits. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, you have multiple layers here. You have some residual and that are probably connected to some living people. You have things that you probably brought over. And then you have things that possibly are coming through that baby vortex, too.
Yeah, since I've been here, Beckett. Now, keep in mind, and I want to delve deeper into this, Vicky. The first day I moved in here, Chewie passed away. Now, he didn't die in the house, but the beginning stages of his death did happen in the house. And then I took him to the vet. Does that have anything to do with what's going on? Because there's something that is happening here that I notice. There's 2 Chewie pictures in my living room, and they are always moving. It'll be at 9 o'clock at night. I'll move them perfectly. And then the next morning when I'm leaving, they are moved, all kinds of crooked. Denny's has seen it before.
They do. They always move crooked.
Now, is that Chewie spirit doing that, or is that someone fucking with me?
Option B, because if Chewie were here, he would be here as a dog. So he cannot, the height that you have those hung, there's no way that he's jumping up and moving those. Before the show started, you and I actually went outside because I needed to make sure there wasn't anything on that backside wall that would make that wall vibrate in order for the picture to move. So if we do a full-scale investigation, I will at one point be outside to see if that thing that was on the wall, see if any way it vibrates in order to move that picture.
In your professional opinion, there's some bullshit going on here?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I can see, she had physical reactions while walking
Yeah.
around.
At one point, Beckett was a little late. I shamed
What
you.
do you mean?
I
On time?
shamed-
Jay Bird's the kind of guy. If you're on time, you're late.
You
To
fuck
be
yes,
fair-
yes.
You pulled up at 6:01.
Oh, Denny's
It was right. It was right as you could have.
I-
If we weren't outside, you could have walked up and said you're outside, like wrapping up a call.
I am one of those time shamers. 6 o'clock always means 5:45.
There you go. It's fair.
No, I'm totally busting
No,
your
it's
balls.
fair.
And I never want to make you feel bad, Beckett. I like to bust your balls, and I only do that because I know you can take it.
100% can take it.
Yeah, for Beckett.
But I always show up.
Golf
You know what
clap.
Zig Ziglar said? 90% showing up.
It was not Zig
Yeah.
Ziglar.
I think it was.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were doing your character from Grimsley,
Uh,
which was very similar to that name. But Vicky, I want to continue to talk to you about this. You at one point before Beckett got here, you said something. You felt like someone was stabbing your eye.
Yeah, when I walked into the main living space, as soon as I walked in there, I definitely had something attack my eye. I've had, which I haven't had this before, when I was in here, I had something like pressing on my collarbone. And then I stepped out, and then they pinched the nerve in the back of my neck as well.
Okay, so what does that mean?
I don't know. I mean, obviously somebody's really trying to get my attention. I have a feeling that the more aggressive things are connected to some of the activity from the living people that used to live here.
So here is the thing about that. I got a neighbor here that talked to one of my good friends. So next door, I moved into this house, and then Virginia's best friend moved next door. It's kind of weird how the whole thing happened. In fact, we were in a bidding war for this house, and I didn't even know that.
The witch is checking on you.
Oh my God! Beckett, always checking on me. So the guy that lives next door to me, I'm really good friends with him now, and I trust him. He's not fucking with me. He's had a couple conversations now with people that lived on the street saying shit has gone on in this house, and he didn't go into why it went down. So I'm still trying to figure that out. And then the older woman that lives behind me, she has told me that this has been a revolving door of people who have lived here. So Vicky, did I buy a fucking ghost lemon?
No, it wouldn't be a lemon because you're loving it.
You're right.
So,
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
It's the perfect place.
Yeah, it's perfect for you.
There is activity. I'm not crazy on this one.
No, you're not crazy. And I have a really good feeling that as far as EVPs, I'm 99.999% sure we're going to get them. As far as video, I'm at about 80 to 85%. And video is very rare. As you know, we caught it before in connection with you. But I think there's a very high probability
So
we can get it
video
again.
would be less likely because you think it's more of like living activity, right?
No, video is just more rare to actually catch some kind of spirit on camera.
So Vicky, how do you address someone who doesn't believe what we're talking about, like a Toph P Squad in the chat room? She says, this skeptic wants all the evidence. And I feel like we have a video that's got fucking evidence, but then you have a Metal Beard Dan saying, Bird, where was the camera? They're always there. And I'm glad that I'm glad that a Metal Beard Dan calls us out. You should always call out anybody on a microphone.
For sure.
Always call out anybody in the public eye. We always have an agenda. I have an agenda. I want to entertain the nice people. But with that said, this shit really is happening to me too.
Right. And as far as evidence, anytime we capture an EVP or video evidence after we fought over the video evidence and releasing it to the public, which, by the way, I am glad that we did that. Okay, so I will bow to you.
My approach might have been wrong, but I'm glad that we... I'm glad.
But yeah, and as far as like, even going back to your last place, I mean, the DVR is still here. If anybody wants to review the fact that we had 4 cameras and that you can see that absolutely no one came in and out of your space, they're more than welcome to come sit through hours of video.
Yeah, I mean, we're not lying. I will say that we are not at all. Vicky is not a person that wants to do the buffoonery of ghosts. Trust me, she does not. She doesn't want to...
No, I agree with you. I was emphasizing your point.
I thought I popped the pee or something.
No.
I thought it was a technical...
I mean, hey, pop the pee in your time.
Well, I mean, popping the pee. It's kind of awesome, depending on
It's
what
part
we're
of the
talking
game.
about. But no, to Vicky, Vicky's very credible. I respect Vicky so much. She doesn't want to be a part of goofy bullshit ghost.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So if we have a conflict with me and Vicky, it's more because I want to get more of the entertainment side of it, and Vicky wants to keep it real, which I respect. I really do. But also, we got motherfuckers that want content too.
It's all fair, but in my opinion, as the resident skeptic, it makes it more credible because
There's a fight. Yeah, I love it.
If the dynamic was the opposite, then you'd be more skeptical.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because she's the one who's like, I don't know, like she cares about the integrity of it,
And I
and
love
like,
that.
not pushing it. Yeah,
I love it.
To me, it makes it way more credible and believable.
And one of the reasons is because my team has always caught evidence through the years, but we have refused to put it online because our purpose was not to prove to the general public whether it exists. Our purpose was to help the client who had come to us, who needed to know what was going on, and a lot of times wanted it to end.
You're doing it more on the spiritual, emotional side of it. I'm doing it more on the, and I'll openly say this, salacious entertainment side. I want that. But I also think if I have that, for example, we did get some naysayers on our side after that one video. Now, we didn't get a Metal Beard Dan, but we got some people that said you guys are full of bullshit.
So you're saying from the entertainment, you can actually get people into the paranormal.
1,000%. That is my goal. There's a million ways to skin that cat. There's a million ways to score that run from third to home. There's a million ways.
Oh, by the way, we had talked about this outside. Once we arrange for the full investigation, you're going to get 100% point from beginning to end, and that includes background information on this house about the living people. And I just received a text from a connection who is going to be able to pull some records for us
Okay.
of the police kind.
Yeah, there's definitely been some shit that has gone on in this house. Neighbors are agreeing with that. Now, what happened? No one's talking. All they're saying is something happened in that house a couple times. I don't know what the fuck's going on. We're not saying shit.
They start sweeping and walking away.
Something happened in that house, Bird. Never mind. Well, let's get some answers, Denny's. And with that said, I think it might be time for some
Denny's Random Facts.
Oh, sweet people, it's been a minute.
Oh, it's way better than Zoom too.
And we need it.
Oh, gosh.
The people love it. The number one feature on this podcast is Denny's Random Facts. Now, I pulled that stat just from my heart.
From
I
your
have
ass this very second.
Yeah. Denny's will give us a random fact. Now, these are real facts. Vicky, being our educator, she's going to grade that from A to F. If the fact sucks, he gets an F. If it's good, he gets an A. Denny's, the floor is yours.
All right, and it is. Thank you for pointing out we're not on Zoom. It's so much better. It's so
God,
hard
man.
to
It was the fucking worst.
have
man.
any chemistry with anyone
Terrible.
on Zoom.
Beckett's making a joke. Vicky's laughing. 30
That
seconds
half
later.
second changes everything. It's
100%.
insane.
Yeah.
All right, so it does feel much better. So let's start off. All right, the largest Japanese population outside of Japan stands 1.6 million people. Where do you think it is? We're gonna start with Bird.
So I was reading the comments.
The
I did not hear a fucking word.
The largest Japanese population outside of Japan stands 1.6 million people. Where do you think that is? Out of everywhere. They went to another place. There's a lot of them.
I'm going to go Canada.
All right,
Ontario.
so you're Canada.
Ontario.
That works. I'll take it. Vicky, I hear you.
I'm going to throw out the Philippines.
All right.
I like it, Vicky.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Those are all.
Beckett's so wrong.
Well, I mean, technically, Becky would have what you would think would be the best guess, but
Really?
it's actually
In my own home?
in your own home. It's actually Brazil. Has the second largest population of Japanese people. In 1907, Brazil passed an act where Japanese migrants could come and farm coffee because the Italians were leaving and going to the States. So they needed somebody to fill it, and that they built an entire population out there, and they've lived there, and it's a whole culture now.
So I guess my first question is this an attack on Italians?
No, I think they were just changing locations.
Forget about it, Denny's. I'm kidding.
How random is that, though?
It's very
That's
random.
very random.
Vicky, what do you think?
I'm going to go with a B.
He's
right.
rusty.
You want the- yeah,
a
hold
year and a
on.
half.
I mean, this is just the warm up.
I'm waiting
The
for
good ones are
Dorothy with
coming.
that oil. Let's see. I'll do something fun for you guys. I can tell you guys are in that fun mood.
I love a tough Vicky.
I see everyone's drinking. I thought we were in an educational mood. It's a fun mood.
We're getting booked up.
All right.
Becky, you want some JMO?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right.
The floor's yours. I know your facts. I know they're fucking great.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. Here, so while Bird's out, let's see. In the U.S., if you find a bald eagle feather on the ground, you need a permit to pick it up. Weird. I'm going to fire off a couple while he's
That's a
gone.
fact.
That is a fact, yeah. Actually, I fact check all of these.
So what
'cause
do
I
you
don't wanna
think?
get
What
called
is the
out.
penalty a misdemeanor? Or?
So it's one of those old laws, and the word bald actually evolved from B-A-L-D-E, which I believe B-A-U-L-D, which means white, which is why they're called bald eagles. It's not because they actually look bald or anything, which is weird. They got that.
Interesting.
Couple of things going on in the chat room, some feedback. I just want to see what Denny's.
Like how Barry comes
I don't
back.
know.
Richard Alvarez wants to know, Denny's is so baked. Is that true?
Well, that's a random fact. Here, I was waiting for Bird to come back for this one right here.
Denny's does not at all look high.
It's my it's my 5 o'clock.
As you were.
Here we go. So this one I say for Bird. In 2009, Stephen Hawking held a reception for time travelers, but he didn't publicize it till after the event. This way, those who could time travel would be the only ones who could attend. Guess how many people showed up?
0.
That is correct.
Man, if you ever want to feel good about humanity and life and positivity, do not watch a Stephen Hawking video. He will be, it's all going to end.
Oh,
We're all dying
He's
in
like
a terrible way.
nihilist in this robot
Oh my
voice.
God.
It's
It's
rough.
nothing to make you feel good about being a human.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
Now, if people had actually showed up, that was an A. But since you big fat 0, that's like a C
Well,
minus.
that means, I guess, time travel.
But
isn't established.
people could still technically show up because it's time travel.
But then that random fact I wouldn't have been able to find.
That's
'cause
right.
It would have been different.
But you never know because history. I mean, that's kind of the Back to the
the
Future
paradox of it all.
anomaly,
I
right?
love it when Beckett and Denny's gets into fights. It's one of my favorite things. I love it.
Because 1,000 years from now, someone could show up.
You're right, but then this moment right now, it wouldn't happen. It would erase every. That's the paradox of time. So if somebody went back and changed the course of time, this moment would be altered.
Right.
We would be on a paradoxal.
Clearly, Beckett has not watched Back to the Future. Motherfucker, the Libyans,
Dude, I
they're
have
coming 88 miles per hour.
Almost every season of Quantum Leap.
Oh, I love. You know the guy's name?
Dean. Oh,
Scott Beckett.
Come on. It's not
Was
Scott
it?
Beckett.
No, it's not.
No, it's your last
It's
name.
something Beckett.
It's
Samuel.
No, it's Scott.
Samuel Beckett.
Oh, I thought you meant Scott Bakula.
He mixed the two names together.
Okay.
But his name is Beckett in the show, isn't
It's Samuel Beckett.
It
Dr.
is.
Samuel Beckett.
So I'm going to do a public apology, but I'm also going to dress you down because you got it wrong. You mixed it.
it? I did mix it.
He
I
did,
did
because
mix
you
it.
mixed it up with Scott Bakula, the actor that portrays.
It bred confusion, Denny.
Yeah.
It did.
It did breed confusion.
Rest in peace, Dean
Yeah,
Stockwell.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Ziggy.
Gosh,
Yes.
fucking Quantum Leap.
There's a town in Nebraska called Monowi with a population of 1. The only resident is a woman who is the mayor, the bartender, and the librarian.
I love this town.
We should go.
It used to be a residency of 2, and unfortunately her husband passed away in 2004.
Fuck.
And so they did a study after coronavirus on loneliness of this woman. There's a documentary about it you can see, but about the effects of loneliness and living with loneliness because coronavirus affected a bunch of people, separating them.
So she could really say she pays all the taxes here.
Yes,
So
you're right.
You're giving us those weekend party facts.
Yeah, here, take that.
Oh, that one bumps you up. That one's. Why is it named
Nice.
that though?
Oh,
It's well, so actually the town used to thrive, but then it was due to poor economy, Nebraska, and I guess the Dust Bowl and stuff. A lot of people left, and then anyone of success ended up leaving. So it left the town poor, a lot of residents, and then as generations grew, kids moved away to colleges and stuff. And then there was a population of a couple people, and I think time just kind of whittled them down. And then she stayed, her and her husband, and ran the town. It became a tourist trap for a long time.
as time does tend to whittle you down. Time, why do you fuck with me? Y'all know about Hootie.
Great song. Dolphins make me cry.
Different song.
Yeah, it is, but you know
But still
the
Hootie.
meaning's the same. Did you guys know that Elvis was originally blonde?
I did know that.
Yes.
And he was not really that sexual until he got into his late teens.
Well, yes. So he
Is that
started.
normal?
You're right. That's about the time it struck him.
I'm on fourth,
I hear you,
fourth
I hear
whiskey.
you,
Come
I
on.
hear you, I hear
It's
you.
weird, whatever. We're having fun here.
What are
It's
the
a
people
test
saying
run.
here? What are the
That's
people
great.
saying here? You're right. It is the test run.
I love that factoid that he was blonde as fuck.
I know he used to color it in because they would dye it, but if he was in a pinch, he would use black shoe polish.
Even in adulthood, he was blonde?
Yeah, he was a blonde.
Well, he was blonde from birth, but then
Because I was blonde
dyed
as a
it.
kid, but then my hair got dark. So did he
I think
dye
he got
it
a-
later?
He liked it dark because he said in the movies it made his features look much more visible. So I think it just became a tradition. He made it real
should
dark.
we have intern Grams zoom in on Beckett's hair real quick? Intern Grams, zoom in.
So your hair, a lot of people, it is pretty common, I guess, for people's hair to be lighter and then get a little bit darker.
I had very light hair as a kid, and then all of a sudden I turned 14. I had jet black fucking hair, and I could not eat my cafeteria food outside. The sun baked it, Denny.
So everybody thinks my hair is black, but my hair is actually just very dark brown. If I go in the light, my hair is straight up brown.
It looks
looks
black.
black.
It looks black.
Everybody thinks it looks black, but if you
it
go
is
in real
black.
light,
If I'm looking at it, it looks black.
I think we need to do a hair
it's
sample and test
not.
it.
Unfortunately, it is
Yeah,
straight up brown,
Fuck
dog.
these scientists.
It's brown. I know. I don't care what the scientists say either. It is
All right. People are asking about puberty, Denny's.
Elvis, man, hit puberty and he started swinging those hips around. Isn't that funny? Because if you think about that, that's not even that far back. 50s,
No.
right?
They
50s
thought
on television, they zoomed in because they were afraid women were going to lose control seeing his hips swinging.
Now, Vicky, who was your top celebrity that you kind of lusted for?
In what time period of my life?
The apex of you being horny.
Oh, let's see. Last week.
That could have been last week. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
last week.
That's fine. Whatever.
I think that's the first bag.
No, I think my first ones, because I was in the 70s, so my first ones were like Sean Cassidy, Scott Baio, and Leif Garrett.
Damn. I love it. So if Baio was Scott Baio thrusting his thang in the camera, does a Vicky get turned on by that?
Back in the day, no, and certainly not now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
It is odd what they think would turn someone on. That
Right.
would not
I
turn
think
her on.
they just weren't used to audiences like that. Sinatra used to hate Elvis because he thought his music was salacious and he thought he was,
The Beatles didn't like Elvis in the beginning either. They thought they
which
thought,
is kind of hypocritical because Beatles started off with rock and roll music.
You know what? I was wrong. Strike that. Reverse that. Elvis hated the Beatles because
I
the
could see
Beatles came
that.
here after the fact that Elvis was here.
I
He
could see
didn't
that.
fucking like that shit.
So you guys are more music experts than I am, but you know what I find interesting? Of all the famous people that were pop culture that we talk about, no one listens to the Beatles songs that much anymore, Beatles songs they do. Elvis, they do not. There's not a lot of Elvis songs.
So is that from,
I could-
Sinatra's on all the time. They play My Way. Like, you hear Sinatra all the time. When's the last time you heard an Elvis song replayed?
now, did you get that factoid from BeckettLies.org? Because there is definitely
Is it fake
Elvis. Oh yeah, man.
What
Elvis
Sirius
is
XM.
What Elvis song plays?
Hound Dog is a pretty popular.
no.
You ain't nothing but a Beckett dog.
When does Hound Dog play other than like someone's doing a spoof during Halloween?
You're right. It tends to be in a goofy
Sinatra,
situation.
I do feel like-
Beatles continue to play. Elvis doesn't really play anymore.
Well, it's probably because he made so much content.
And I'm not at all trying to pick a fight with Denny's or a Beckett, but I feel like you all are just spouting off facts and don't have the research. Because do you know?
I agree with you that Elvis is still pretty relevant.
I'll tell
Really?
you.
Oh no, he's totally relevant
Well,
as
I
pop
think
culture,
I
but
hear
not
his
his music.
No, it is, man. I know you don't think it is because you're not living in the Elvis world. But if you are an Elvis fan, and keep in mind, Elvis is still going to be prevalent with people who are in their late 30s because their parents, their grandparents had him so high revered as a unbelievable musician. He's going to be around for another 50 years.
100%, and I totally respect him and all that other
just
stuff.
don't hear his-
But I don't hear his stuff. I could not be a Sinatra fan, and I would hear Sinatra.
But is a Beckett in the world or the realm of an Elvis world? I don't know if you
100%.
are. Other than your fucking sweet ass hair right now, you look like Elvis 61.
I think there are some you'd find like always on my mind. Some of his ballads, they
The
are.
slower
Always on
songs
my
are
mind.
definitely-
Or-
Anytime if you say always on my mind, I think of Willie Nelson. I do not think of Elvis.
How about this one?
I do-
It's now. Oh, Beckett. Come hold me tight.
No, it doesn't ring any
I
bells.
love
Oh,
me
what?
some Beckett.
You're
Or
nothing,
what about,
you're nothing a hound dog. I
his
like,
ass is so
Las
right.
Vegas.
yeah, that happens if like you're in Vegas.
I feel like Beckett's kind of speaking out of turn.
I see what you're saying
I
though.
do see what you're saying.
Out of the three, I will say he's played. I hear him least out of the three.
But you aren't in the Midwest. You aren't in Vegas.
oh, fair.
You aren't.
Okay, that's fair.
We
So because I'm in South Florida, I don't hear it.
we tend on both sides of the coast, California and Florida, we tend to think the whole world revolves around our ideals and our opinions.
Totally agree.
And what's going on. And it's just not that. And that's why I think there's a lot of conflict. The media loves it. They love to report on the coast and what they're thinking. I don't know if it's sexy for them to report what Idaho's thinking. And Idaho's thinking different than the coast.
Fair enough.
Yeah, or Nebraska with one resident.
In your face, Beckett, burn one. See, no, I'm just kidding. No, you bring up good points,
I mean,
but they're wrong.
I like Elvis. I just never hear Elvis.
Elvis is one of those musicians to me that had two distinct phases. I feel like young
Skinny and
Elvis is
fat.
so different
Skinny
from
and
late
fat.
Elvis.
Come on, skinny and fat.
He's such a powerful like presence in his later years. I felt like he was a lot more innocent in his younger years.
All right, Dennis, keep going with your random facts, because I mean, clearly it's
How
working.
many do you want? I rattled off like 6 of these.
I don't know if he did. I think it's been 2, and we've ranted.
How many grades have there been? Oh, there's only been 2 grades.
Yeah, there's only been 2 grades.
The Elvis.
The Elvis one, I mean, there were a couple of us knew that, so I can't get him for originality. I
Time
mean, that's a
travel.
C.
Time travel. Time travel convention.
Vinny.
No one showed up. Time travel.
I just called Vicky Vinny.
Hey.
Take another shot there.
The gabagool.
The Gabagool Vinny.
Did you guys know that coffee?
Give us one more.
Coffee beans aren't actually beans.
What are they, Denny?
Coffee is from a fruit. It's from the coffee fruit. Have you guys seen the coffee fruit? Oh, I gotta tell you about the coffee. So there's a coffee fruit, and that's what it's roasted from the seeds of the coffee fruit. Boom, roasted. What do you think?
Oh, shit, Vicky.
Sounds like she needs some coffee.
I hit with all my big stuff in the beginning.
I love it. I love Mean Vicky.
Oh,
I
you
do.
get a couple drinks and you got.
Yeah. I mean,
Throw in
I'm
the
sorry. I
cabbages.
was looking forward to this all week, and it was anticlimactic. I'm just saying.
Shit. All right. I guess we gotta move.
Jeez, oh man.
Oh, Vicky's gonna get the worst email.
I know.
Stop being so mean to Denny's.
I
Why?
gotta work harder. You know, I dialed it in this week. I get it.
My man's tired. He's got a lot going on, Beckett. What I want to do now, there's a thing we do on the KVJ show called "What's on My Mind." I love it's one of my favorite segments because you get to bring a piece of what your personality is. I want us to do a little segment called "What's Going Through Your Dome."
All right, I see how it's different.
It is different, but it's the same, which is a paradox, Denny's. Different, same. 88 miles per hour. The Libyans are coming. All right, so Beckett, you wanted to talk about Bitcoin. And it's funny, I want to preface this because we just had a topic on the show. People who bring up Bitcoin automatically are douches.
100%.
It's the new buzz term.
If you bring it up, so just know that everyone
I
thinks
invest
you're going to
in
be
the
a
coin.
douche with your Bitcoin.
Everyone thinks that
They
anyways.
do not. I fucking love Beckett. I
I
will-
hear nothing but good things.
I will take bullets for Beckett.
Oh, thank you.
Bullets for Beckett. That's a good band name.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is a good bumper sticker.
It's a great band name and a first album.
I love it.
All right, yeah, I like it. Self-titled.
I love
or
it.
you mean the name of the first album of another band?
No, name of the album
I like
and
it.
the band.
Self-titled. All right,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
it.
So I haven't talked about it a lot, but the name of my real estate firm is Bit Realty. I'm doing a dissertation on the tokenization of real estate. I'm big on Bitcoin. I've owned it for a long time. Like a lot of things, people thought I was crazy 10 years ago when I was talking about it. Now, my parents' country club, they're having a talk on Bitcoin. You have major institutions going into Bitcoin.
Cities now creating their own Bitcoin.
El Salvador, all
Miami.
that. And who knows, Miami's going to have their own coin.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. What I find interesting is that I don't have a bunch of my investments poured into crypto, but I do have a significant amount into crypto. I've been doing it for a long time. And I had a conversation with one of my, suffice it to say, a very successful investor, a luminary in the industry. And because it's weird and whatever, I thought it was apropos to talk about how he really believes that the United States government and CIA created Bitcoin, and it's a vessel for them to fund events, you know, like non-Contra, like Iran, like certain like rogue missions that you could never pay US dollars for. He believes that they started it because if anyone doesn't know, whoever started Bitcoin, no one knows who started it. It was released in a white paper in 2009. No one knows who started it. The United States doesn't really publicize this. It doesn't get reported well in the media. The United States has a ton of Bitcoin. So I was just curious what you guys think, because his theory and what I've learned in terms of the holdings of the United States government of Bitcoin, because in some ways it threatens national security because it threatens country's currency. Bitcoin does.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so I love what you just presented. Now I want to ask the audience: is Beckett's topic douchey, or do you think this is some good shit we need to delve into? Let's get honest with the people.
In the late 90s, .com was douchey. And
Y'all,
You're right. Selfies used to be douchey.
Yeah.
well, selfies are douchey.
Online dating used to be
I don't know,
douchey.
man. You're
So-
right. All those
Online
used to be
dating
douchey.
used to be douchey
you're right.
until it wasn't.
So
They all
Richard,
used to be.
Richard Alvarez has a great. I love Richard Alvarez's comment in the chat room. He says this, and I'm gonna clean it up because I love Ryan Beckett.
Is he coming in hard?
No, he's really not, actually. he goes, Beckett's the good kind of douche.
Yeah.
Meaning,
I would take that.
yeah, no, you are, and you're not a douche, but you have an opinion that is going to be different than a Vicky, than a Denny's, than mine. And I fucking love that. It's a good kind of douche. I'm a douche too.
Yeah.
We're all douches from a certain point of view. I love that. Now, let's get some numbers. Was his topic douchey?
So I first started hearing about Bitcoin, I guess you could say it was 2006-ish or whatever. It was when 3D printers started getting much better, where they started getting a little bit faster. It used to take like 4 weeks to print anything, and then they started getting faster where it'd take like 4 days to print something. Well, so the fear was that people were sending blueprints, and I don't know how much. This is all stuff I read, who knows. But they were sending blueprints of guns. What they were doing is the way to smuggle arms across borders, it was easier if you bought 2 different 3D printers and you printed it with ballistic plastic or whatever.
Yep.
And you can make your weaponry, and then that way it's untraceable. It's not really sold by anyone. You would just buy the blueprints off of whatever source, and you would use Bitcoin, and then people would then transpose Bitcoin into gift cards. And the reason everybody did gift cards was because if it goes to any sort of currency, it has to then be taxed. So a way of evading currency taxation was to, use gift cards. So I didn't know any use outside of that. It gained popularity in trade recently.
I love the talk. I love the conversation. I also want to give the people
I
a
get
voice.
it. I was just,
So just kind of talking with people. Angie from Hollywood says, not douchey, just not interesting. All right, that's an opinion. I like that.
I hear that a lot.
Taylor Jordan in the chat room says, I think it's an interesting idea, but I'd like to see some with more evidence. All right. Toph, again, always controversial in the chat room. I love it. Still think online dating is douchey. I don't. I think online dating was something people were afraid
new.
to talk about.
100%.
Toph, it is 2021. We're all fucking getting cyber fucked.
yes, to put it eloquently.
In many different ways.
That's the whiskey talking.
I get it.
And I should have cleaned it up a little bit more gently, but you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely, everything gets desensitized as it becomes familiarized.
I
Not
know.
to rhyme.
I remember back in the day, it was weird to talk to people through the internet. My sister, she met her husband through the internet. They love each other.
Later generations, they communicate through the internet much more than my generation.
My cousin and her husband met on Tinder. They're obnoxiously happily married. And they met on Tinder. Which isn't even like the online dating that usually fosters that.
I knew there was love on Tinder. I knew it. I was rooting
No,
for it since the
of
beginning.
course there is. There's definitely love everywhere, but there's also love nowhere.
It's nowhere but everywhere.
Exactly. It's kind of like you can be in a crowded room with all these people that love you, but you still feel alone. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of paradox.
Right.
I feel like sometimes people think if they have sex or they're physically being with somebody, they're going to fill this void. I've been there before. I get it. But if it's not true and it's not where you want to be with your heart and soul, it does come up short and it comes up with more questions than answers. No?
Yeah, but just the fact that, and I'm going to sound philosophical, but just the fact that it caused questions is a positive, right? Like, I think that if you have an interaction, you learn a lot about yourself. If you have a disaster interaction, you have a better understanding of what you don't want in someone.
Okay, so to your point, if you are getting ready to get busy with somebody and you take off their pants and there's roaches that come out of their pubic hair, you're like, you know what? It's just part of the situation. Let's deal with it.
No, I'm out.
Boom, that's it. I'm out.
I think it's a deal breaker. I usually drive by all red flags, but
I gotta tell you what, man. It's so easy to be like this and that on a microphone, and then in my personal life, red flag.
yeah, right by it. Right by it.
That's why I say people with the microphone are bullshit. Follow your instinct. People on a microphone are good for entertainment.
Yes.
To pass through the day.
For sure.
But don't let them be your ideals. Your family, your loved ones, your friends. Those are the people that should build up your ideals, not people on a microphone. We're for entertainment.
We're for entertainment, but we're all also, like, in a weird way, we're being philosophers. Like, we're talking about different things, whether it's Bitcoin or online dating, and we're giving people things to think about. And I think that's
not to say that people on a microphone don't have things to offer. Of course they do. I really believe that. I'm just saying when somebody is talking about their whatever, if I'm talking about pizza, there's going to be 30% of people that don't agree with what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
No basil in pizza? Fuck this guy. Just be mindful of that when you're in front of a microphone.
100%.
It's not about making it right in the world. It's just not. It's really kind of your opinion. Vicky, comment?
The only thing I was thinking is that you're talking about how government, if they started it, they had this big, secretive, ultimate evil type goal or nefarious goal. How about the fact that they just want to get rid of dollar bills and coins?
Yeah, start a new currency.
Yeah, to start a new
world
currency. Yeah.
Instead of having every currency.
So most likely the Fed will make their own Fed dollar, U.S. dollar, that's crypto. With COVID, when people are doing the checks for the PPP and all of that stuff, it would have avoided a lot of fraud.
You
People
got
would have got
PPP?
they would have got their
Y'all know me.
payments directly. I feel like the Weird and Whatever group, the audience, is probably pretty into like crypto and like all the stuff that's going on.
Are you guys? Let us know.
I feel like they are.
Crypto's now at the point where it's mainstream, I think.
Well, yes. Like I said, like with whether it's going on in families, countries, clubs, and all these other things that are happening, institutional money moving in, I think it's a big thing. We haven't brought it up a lot, but I do think that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is a very, very interesting topic that can threaten U.S. dollar, threaten national security. The NSA and the CIA, I'm sure, are very, very careful. And that's why I thought that my friend's theory was interesting, because it does threaten national security to have a separate store of value that threatens the U.S. dollar.
The only tricky part is that there's no federal backing, so it is kind of like a risky move, and it's very toxic. You have to know it and be savvy enough, because if you're putting your money there, I mean, you're investing in basically an invisible company that doesn't have a product.
And I am not at all trying to be a crypto cock blocker here.
All right,
But we have like 9 pieces of audio to get through. I like it. I think it's spirited. I think people have comments. Let us know in the comment section below. I fucking hate talking about Bitcoin. Couple things I do want to talk about. Now, Denny, you were talking about, let's go back to the ghost world with Chewie shit. Talk about burning stuff of a ex or a dead person.
Talking about doing an effigy, burning some of your old belongings to help you, move on.
Now, I don't know if people have the same experiences as I have had. My dog Chewie died January 1st into January 2nd. And that was, 9, 10, 11 months ago. I'm not going to lie, man. I have had a really tough time dealing with it. I thought I would be better with it. I've struggled. Maybe I'm a pussy. Maybe I don't know. But I still, to this day, I'm having terrible dreams. I struggle with my dog's death. I was telling Denny's this. And he said, maybe do this practice. And I would like you to kind of go on and talk about it. Does it work? Has anyone ever done it before? And I'd like to get Vicky's opinion on it as well.
So, I mean, in our teenage dramaticisms, we used to do it for breaking up with exes and stuff. You'd burn all of your possessions, and it's kind of, I guess, a cathartic experience that you're you're shedding, kind of, I guess you could assimilate to the phoenix. You're burning the ashes and new life is being born from it. So, I mean, there is something to be had from it. I think keeping a souvenir, too, is also a good thing as well. I think the combination of both. But, I mean, I personally think it's a cool concept. If it's something you're struggling with now anyway, it could be worth, a shot. I mean, I don't know you to be incredibly sentimental with your possessions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a possessions guy, so to speak, but
You're not a possessions guy. There's action figures that
Well,
you've collected
but
the
here's
whole
the
time.
thing. Here's the thing, though, Beckett. I love the possessions, but if they all went away, I would so be okay. I meditate on that all the time. The house, the job, everything. If it all went away, would I be okay? And I know in my heart and soul I would be okay.
Yeah.
I do love I love the fucking toys.
Yeah.
I don't need the toys. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fair.
Exactly. But to Denny's point, Vicky, is there something to that spiritually?
I would disagree with doing that as far as someone or, like in Chewie's case, who has passed away, because it is therapeutic if you are burning negative memories.
I love it.
What I would suggest is that you put some of his things away, perhaps.
You think that's maybe fucking with me?
I would cut it down to a couple of significant items that I would put the rest away. I would hate to see you burn something and 5 years from now when you're past all this and you don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
because then it becomes a fond memory and you won't physically have it to look back on. And I think, like I said, it's more therapeutic if you have a negative connotation with those articles.
A breakup.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense to me. And I think Denny was more just saying, and I want to get your opinion, Beckett, because your dog passed away before my dog did. Mm-hmm. How are you doing with it? Do you still struggle with it?
I do, but it comes in waves. So I get busy with work, get busy with life, and then I'll get one of these time hops on social media or...
I swear, a lot of people get triggered by those time hops.
The fucking time hops. Oh, cool. Hey, why does the time hop only want to talk about my mom's death and dying and all of my breakups?
All your breakups.
Never that cool pizza
Yeah.
fucking contest I did or the bit we did that we got views on. It's always... fucking heartache and sadness.
Or a photo where you're like leaned over and you look all like terrible.
It shows you're fucking fat. Fuck you, Zucker.
But in a weird way, I actually like appreciate it because
fuck that, Beckett.
I do appreciate it because I feel like it reminds me, because sometimes I get a little numb. You get busy with work, you get busy with life, and before you know it, 6 months goes by. You put your head down and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden I see a picture of my dog. That, not to say I forgot about it, but I kind of went on with life. And then I saw that picture that, was in the moment of that moment in time. And sure, it's heartbreaking, it's upsetting, but it reminds me of the relationship that I had with that animal. People aren't supposed to bury their kids. And the weird dynamic that we have with dogs and some other animals, depending on the person.
They do. No, honestly. Any animal that you love, you're going to have that same feeling as you do with a dog.
It's biology.
Yeah.
And it's tough. And like I said probably before on the podcast, I've had dogs that were family dogs. But these dogs that I lost, my 2 dogs, Plato and Noel, they were my first dogs that I had on my own.
It was different, baby.
Totally
different. Oh, yeah. It is different.
And when I found out my one dog had cancer, it was one of those things like, I don't have an unlimited bank account, but it was like, checkbook, whatever you need. Like, I will pay for this stat. Like,
I spent over $10,000 on Chewie. And I honestly don't regret a fucking cent of it.
Yeah, I don't regret anything that I did. And not to be cheesy, it's such a great... it was some of the saddest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, me too.
But it was such an amazing life experience, from getting them to training them to being mad at them to loving them to dealing with their passing away. It was, if I check out at 90 years old or in 2 years from now, like that experience that I had with those 2 dogs, I'm a very experienced type person. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, best experience of my life.
I can look at pictures of my mom. I can look at pictures of my Aunt Ann. I can't look at pictures of Chewie.
Yeah.
It's weird. I
Yeah.
can't explain it. It's very odd.
There's
Yeah.
an emotion tied to him that you need to deal with. And once you deal with that particular emotion, then you'll be able to look at it with joy.
Now, do you think anything that's going on here has anything to do with my hang up on Chewie?
No.
I do want to play some audio from my dad. Now, my dad, I apologize if you already heard this on the KVJ show. This is the stuff that's been going on, Vicky, in my house, where I'm getting people from the snack pack. I'm getting people that are just visiting going, I was in the bathroom or I was by the bathroom and something touched me. Something grabbed me. And it's more prevalent than it's ever been in any of my houses. This is my dad talking about the shadow people he sees.
I thought I seen something in the kitchen a couple times when I was sitting on the couch. And it's funny you mention it because I didn't mention it to you, but I felt like there was some active shadowing going on.
Yeah, there's a tall, lanky man that walks by the bathroom.
Yeah, and it actually made me turn my head a little bit. And I thought I'd seen something move. I actually got up one time. I got up and just checked through the kitchen. And then
you thought someone was walking over there.
well, I was just half asleep, and I don't know if I was dreaming or what. But then I got up, and then I got up the other night and just checked the door. I thought I heard like somebody move something. Just kind of felt a presence.
Now, that's my dad. I can tell you this. My dad's not lying to me. Whether you don't know my dad or not, and I get it. Burr does bits on the air all the time. He does videos. His dad's in cahoots with him. I get that. You should call me out on that. My dad's not lying.
Yeah, he's pretty solid of the earth.
No,
kinda
my
guy.
dad is not fucking lying.
Yeah.
He's not trying to get views.
Yeah.
Vicky, you hear something like that. What are your thoughts?
Well, as I was listening to the audio, I actually saw the shadow break into 3 separate ones, but I'm trying to figure out if it is 3 separate entities or if it's one that's showing me he can multiply himself and have his energy in multiple places.
Yeah, there is the one thing I've experienced, just so you know, and my dad would say he agrees, there's a tall, lanky man dressed in all black. And I know it's going to sound cliche. It kind of reminds me of Lincoln. Tall, there's a hat, it looks like.
Yep.
From olden times, it does not look like a modern day cat. But that motherfucker is walking through my lobby in the bathroom area and by the studio here a lot. I've seen
Yes.
it.
I think that it is one of the descriptions of a shadow man. One of the very first investigations where I had the system was so old. I know people made fun of my cameras, but this was even older. It was actually a VCR tape that we recorded, and we have an Abraham Lincoln type man walking through the wall in this person's foyer, walking through 2 different walls, pacing back and forth, and he is an Abraham Lincoln type. I went to, back in 2007, I think it was, I went to a metaphysical shop, and the woman said, you know, you just walked in with a guy that looks like Abraham Lincoln. So I had something, I think it is a stereotypical type of spirit where they all look alike.
Now, can a shadow person be different than a lanky ghost that's walking around? Because me and my dad were talking about, is it a shadow person or is it just a ghost that is
Right.
lanky?
Right, and that's something that we'd have to investigate to see what it is, because yes, there is a school of thought that shadow people are completely different than human spirits. Some people have gone as far as to say they're aliens. Some people think they're demonics.
I like that, Denny's.
But there's a lot of controversy in the field as to what a shadow person really is. I personally do not think they are one human spirit, because tales of shadow people, children will see them around the age of 7 or 8. Then that same figure will check in on them in their 20s, usually again in their 40s, and sometimes, if you know, I've talked to anybody that old, the 60s. So it's almost like whatever this person is, whatever this entity is, it checks on that person, which reminds me of aliens, actually, in a way.
I love it. So I want to play another piece of audio, and it kind of supports what me and you talked about before the podcast. Me and Vicky feel like there is a hodgepodge or a buffet of ghosts going on. Some that were here before I got here, some that I brought along, and maybe some new stuff from objects. But this is my dad talking about something else he's feeling, which kind of goes against his last clip.
Okay.
Yeah, last week and a half or so, I just felt like I was feeling my grandma Sadie. I was thinking about her a lot, but it's almost like I was doing a wash and stuff, and I just kind of felt a presence of her around. And I mean, I've thought of her, I think about her from time to time, but this was a little different. It just seemed like there was more of a continuous type of, as I was walking around the house with nobody here, you'd be at work, and it just felt like I felt her presence around here for whatever reason. And I never felt that kind of presence, and it seems like in this house, I felt like she was around for some reason.
Again, my dad's not lying.
Yeah.
Is he on drugs? No. Sober as fuck.
Loved ones come. Loved ones comes to visit us all the time. That's totally not a mystery at all.
Can you manifest your loved ones if you have the gift?
If you have the gift, I always tell people when I give a reading and they're particularly missing someone, and I said, you can still talk to them. So if you are giving them enough energy, they can come around you. Doesn't mean you can necessarily manifest them to where you can see them, but they will come running if you call.
I love it. I think it's great stuff. I think we are running out of time. I want to do a couple clips to maybe bring it back to some fun. It's heavy shit, but I love it, Vicky. And we are going to continue to put cameras in this house and we're trying to get proof. At least that's what I'm trying to do. And we're going to get it for y'all. Denny's, what we're going to do now, let's talk about this. We talked about this on the KVJ show. The DoorDash driver. Now, I don't know if you heard this story, Beckett. There's this radio personality out in L.A. She ordered some food. The DoorDash driver dropped off the food, and the camera picked up the DoorDash driver taking her pants down and shitting in the trash can of the lobby where she dropped off the food. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it's nice. If she had diarrhea, she kept it clean.
So you're cool with your food people?
She dropped the food off first.
But
right?
it wasn't in my garbage can. It was in the garbage can of the condo building. It was the lobby.
It's interesting you're taking this point of view. Denny, play the clip. Let's hear it.
I bobbed when you thought I was going to weave.
What I saw, I could not unsee. I was flabbergasted at what I saw. She let it go. I mean, that saying, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And boy, did she ever. You're 4 steps away from outside where there's a bush or your car, or I don't know, but not in the lobby of a Brentwood apartment building. This is a health issue. You have a human being who's taking a poop in the middle of her job in a lobby of an apartment building and then resuming her job, which is delivering and touching food.
I just love reading people's comments. Angie says it was either stage or an extreme emergency. And I agree.
I agree too.
That's a
I gotta
great
go
comment.
with Beckett on this too, because you'd rather her shit in a bush? You think that's more sanitary?
Yeah. Let her sit
So
on.
you think this was just a
say,
call of nature?
I would say this woman had an emergency. I don't think it was like a vengeful shit. I think it was an emergency shit.
Vengeful shit would have been on the porch.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the
So
floor.
I thought you were going to
Interesting
say in the
take.
bag.
I got to tell you, KVJ show condemned the woman. You guys are sticking up for her.
Or weird
I
whatever.
I
Well,
like it.
I have friends with IBS. So, I mean, I get
So,
it.
are you telling me if you have IBS, you could be walking down the stairwell and the shits hit you and you have to fucking shit in a trash can?
Friends that I know, yes.
Where else would you shit?
IBS people who are struggling with the IBS in the chat room, let us know. If you have the IBS,
I
do
think
you just
don't
have
get
a
much-
shit problem where you have to fucking shit?
I don't think you get much time. I
don't.
think
You don't get
you
much
get the
time.
vibrations.
Do I have poop privilege? Where I don't have IBS. I can control it.
Right.
I can hold it for 5 days, Beck.
It's kind of like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where it was like, You get more privileges because you have it, right?
Oh, chat room's going off right there. I love it. That's great. I love it. All right, Denny, let's play another clip here. What happens when we get this a lot. What happens when someone goes missing? What do the police actually do? We heard back in the day, you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, if someone's missing, you have to wait 24 hours. That was always the thing in every show we watched. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a police officer talking about the proper steps the police should take if someone goes missing.
The first step in a missing persons investigation is that they get reported to a law enforcement officer as missing. That officer will immediately enter their information onto NCIC, which is the National Crime Information Computer. And that will make their information available nationwide to all law enforcement. Next, the missing persons report will then come to a missing persons detective. Once a missing persons detective receives a case, then they will conduct a more detailed, in-depth, thorough investigation, which can include checking more extensive databases, going and gathering video evidence from where someone went missing, interviewing possible witnesses, also digging into the circumstances surrounding the person going missing, why they went missing, are there any motives for any kind of criminal activity.
Okay, so I know that was very low, like he was talking in a library. That's not our fault. Those fuckers recorded at a very low level.
Oh, yeah. He's just like, well, so then they went in there and they grabbed the evidence and they moved it in the bag.
By the way, if someone's missing, you need to call the police at 911.
Check that book in.
Okay, so that's what I want to talk about. If Beckett's got a loved one missing, you call 911 and they want to investigate. Do they take it seriously within the first 24 hours? Because I got an email that says this: Dear Weird and Whatever, what happens when you have a loved one missing? I called the cops to say my 21-year-old brother was missing, and they told me they couldn't do anything about it until it was 24 hours. I thought that was an outdating thing. Really? 24 hours? My brother's missing. If the most important thing in a missing persons case is the first few hours, why do the police say they can't help you until 24 hours pass?
Totally agree. And context matters because the 24-hour rule is like, you're trying to like fit a square peg in a round hole. Because I get the reason why that rule originally started, but if someone says, like your loved one or your kid, hey, I'm riding my bike on the way home from school, and they don't show up, and it's a 10-minute ride, and then it's 5 hours later, and you still haven't heard from your 16-year-old, 14-year-old kid.
That's off.
That's context. And we're like, okay, and you hear from like CSI, cold cases, real life stories. Those first moments and hours are really, really important.
Well, the person that sent that email is from Colorado. I know you live there, Denny's, and maybe it's different than Florida. If there's a cop that's listening right now in Florida, if someone's missing and I call the cops that's under 24 hours, do the cops go out and look for that missing person, or do they have to wait 24 hours?
I think it depends on the age of the person that's missing.
Okay, so if it's 13 years old, you're
going to
taking it
go
seriously.
immediately.
If it's Beckett, he's 28 or 39, whatever the fuck. How old are you?
39.
Good 39.
I'm getting up there.
If Beckett's missing for 18 hours and I'm his good friend, and I call the cops and go, this fucking guy, he was on The Bachelorette, he's fucking hot, chicks love him, I don't know what the fuck's happening, he's gone, 18 hours. They're not going to take that seriously because they think he could be porking people.
Right. And
but
I
if
think
it's a 13-year-old, they're going to go.
Right. And I think the rules were changed because that's unrealistic to think that a 12 or 13-year-old, sometimes they do assume that maybe they're a runaway, but I think that's why the laws changed, if I'm correct. It changed for under 18.
But
a runaway, you don't wait.
A runaway would be equal reason to go find them.
Right.
Well, if there's a cop or lawyer or law enforcement listening, let us know the rules of a South Florida situation.
But I would say if you're older, it matters too, because like if I, in that scenario that Jaybird presented, if I told Jaybird that I was going to his house and that's why I'm saying context
and you
matters.
Didn't show up.
And I didn't show up.
And it's weird.
Then
I want people to fucking look for Beckett. And if the first 24 hours are important, you're dead already.
And maybe we had a polarizing podcast the week before, and a lot of hate was coming my way, and they knew I was on the way to your house.
It's coming in
like,
already.
You never know. You know?
Hashtag fuck it back it is trending. No, I'm just
That's why context is important, though.
It
in
is.
those kind of
But no,
things.
you're right though. That's why I hate when people live in absolutes. Every single situation in life is different.
Yeah.
Whether Denny's is ordering a sub and then I'm ordering a sub, those are two different. There's so many circumstances that happen there. You can't say it's the same thing. And when people live in absolutes, it drives me fucking crazy.
Oh, I agree.
Oh, that's what the media does. It's either A or B.
Binary.
Well, probably because it gets a reaction.
It does.
If you live in the center, you get no reactions. They want the vocal.
100% true.
Everything in life is nuanced.
Well, the problem is they put ratings on stuff.
They do.
You shouldn't rate certain things.
100%.
The minute something gets rated, it loses any sort of
You guys got your
integrity.
finger on the pulse. It's 100% true.
Well, go ahead and talk a little bit about that, Denny. That's a hot button for you about ratings, news, all that stuff.
Well, so there was a couple things that probably I would say happened. They made news 24 hours. It used to not be.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's really not always that much news. Now, sure, there's a lot of news that we should intake, but I think a lot of it's pretty depressing for people. We just don't get all of it.
Yeah.
So now there's a million outlets. You can go to any sort of news avenue you want now. But originally, you just got your news and everybody got their news. Well, then they had to be 24 hours, and then places start getting ratings, and people are tuning in. And once money starts getting involved, then you have people paying your bills. There is then influence of what is to be presented because, you have a superlative telling you, you guys got to kind of do this now.
No, he's so right. As soon as there is a rating situation about beating your
Everything.
competition,
Look at YouTube.
yeah, it's not gonna be real. It's just not. It's not going to ever be real.
So that's what they said in the Aaron Sorkin series, Newsroom. He goes, the thing about it is Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all of these mainstream media companies are in the same business that the Kardashians are in.
They are.
Yeah,
they
they
are.
all-
They're
everybody's
literally
absolutely
in the
are.
same business.
Yes.
And
Entertainment. It's entertainment.
It's
It's
100%
fodder.
entertainment.
Yeah.
So the old saying in media, if it bleeds, it leads.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they teach you. My freshman year in journalism class, they said if it bleeds, it leads. It was the number one thing they taught you as a journalist.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the right thing.
No,
Just
it's
because
100%.
something's bleeding,
It's
I don't
good-
know if it should be.
It's good for
leading.
the media company. It's good for the influencer on Instagram because it gets more likes, it gets more engagement, but it's not good for society. So
yeah.
What are we trying to do? Are we trying to get entertainment points, or are we trying to make the truth available? What are we asking here? If you are in entertainment, you're trying to get ratings. If you want if you're a regular person and you want the truth, you have a different agenda, and that's why things are a little weird.
So it's tricky. So it's tough. So the only way you can get people to agree with you is they have to be told by somebody somebody you trust. That's the only way you can get anyone's attention. It's the only way you can sell people. Think about how hard it is. The only thing that keeps our economy going is selling and buying, right?
consumption.
And that's the hardest thing to get anyone to do. Think about if somebody tries to sell you something, you get so mad or
You're
turned
annoyed.
off. If
Yeah.
an ad pops up in your video, you want to smack someone. And think about every company has to sell you stuff though, otherwise our economy stops working.
People don't like to be, because I'm in sales.
We all have to be tricked.
People don't like to be sold. They like to buy.
Yes, they don't like to be sold.
Girls
That's a
like to
great
go
point.
shopping. Girls love and
So now
people
what do we
love
sell?
to buy.
Well,
People
it's
love to
why
buy.
I
They don't like
hate-
to be sold.
It's why the least favorite part of my job is doing live endorsements, and I turn down. I mean, do I not turn?
Tons,
I
yeah.
turn down endorsements all the time. They want me to do body fat shit and fucking shit that doesn't work, and they want me to lie about that. I just can't, and it does kind of suck because you're trying to do good stuff for your company, but you also don't want to lie. And that's why I always go back to, on the microphone, you should always second guess anybody on a microphone. And I'm on a microphone. And I'm telling you to do that. You should do that.
No, it's great advice.
Totally. So the point is, there was a documentary. It's Attenborough. He does all the film documentaries on animals, And he's been lately doing it about how the environments have changed over the years, because clearly the guy's been documenting just animals, and then by a byproduct of that has noticed just these new ecosystems that are being created.
Not to interrupt you, but Toph in the chat room says we are just talking about adult stuff, and she's tuning out.
I get it. I
So
get it.
should we change everything up because Toph is bored?
How old
Sure.
is Toph?
Toph, how old are you? Let us know in the chat room. We call motherfuckers out here in the Weird and Whatever. If you don't like it, let's talk about why you don't like it.
So he's got to have another shot to get through this.
The point is that guy wasn't in the business to promote that he sees that the economy or the global economy is changing with environments. He just notices that's happening and he's pointing it out. See, I believe him because he's not trying to push that. He is just pointing out that he's noticed that from something.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find these weird ways to want to learn. Otherwise, nobody wants to learn, man. Learning sucks.
Nope, Toph
it's
wants
hard.
you to move on.
I get it. I get it, Toph. Toph love. I get it.
That's great. They should change the screen name.
Yeah, yes. Oh,
Toph
yeah.
love.
Toph love.
I love it. All right, we also got a couple would you rather. We're gonna end it with some would you rather.
Love it.
And I gotta tell you
miss
guys,
it.
I've had such great fun with you guys. It's so good to get the band back together. We're drinking, having fun.
Love it.
It's messy. It's sloppy. I fucking love it.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
And we're gonna get even better. We're gonna do some video stuff coming up. Just Grimsley took so long, guys. Would you rather? Would you rather have a three-way with a zombie and Dracula, or a werewolf and Frankenstein? Let's start with Vicky.
I don't know. Dracula's got a pretty good reputation, so I got to go with that one.
Very sexual, very carnal.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
that werewolf, though.
Dracula's usually, they're better looking, so I got to go with the zombie Dracula.
I love it. Beckett, I know what you want.
I gotta know the sexes of the werewolf and the vampire.
Just go with your gut.
So they're both female?
Don't make this hard.
That's what the vampire said.
There's that Beckett.
So are we mutated werewolf or
Don't turn into Virginia. Don't
are
make
we
this a
Twilight
fucking
werewolf?
Just fucking answer.
Who's with Dracula? Zombie and
Zombie.
Dracula. Or it's a werewolf.
We are
Frankenstein.
running out of time.
Frankenstein.
I think I will go female vampire all day. I'm thinking like Nicole Kidman and like eyes. No, it's not
You
vampire.
like liquids dripping on you. I can tell.
What guy doesn't?
Dracula.
Fucking Beckett. Denny's, what's your... I can tell the J-Mo's kicking in. Denny's, what's your answer?
Just to mix it up, I'd probably do Frankenstein and the werewolf.
And why, Denny's? Because you like that slow fuck?
Oh, yeah. I like that werewolf. I'm a looking and I'm a liking.
Vicky, what are you into?
I already answered.
Did you? Shit.
Making her answer twice.
Fuck, I've been drinking whiskey too, dog.
She wants that Dracula.
That's right. I remember.
It's your turn. You're the one that didn't answer.
I think I want to fucking get down on that. Well, the sensuality of the Dracula is nice.
Yeah.
But the fucking pure just of the werewolf I need.
What if Dracula's like, I want to suck your,
What, Denny's? Go ahead. Don't fucking pussyfoot it. Go ahead and say it.
I'm trying to keep this
It's rated.
thing.
It's rated
trying to keep
R.
this
Oh
thing.
yeah, I've dropped 9,000 F
I'm trying to keep this thing PG-13.
I
guys.
want to suck your nerds.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Trying to clean this thing up.
Wait, so what's your choice?
I think I'm going. Well, zombie Dracula. It's gonna be slow but sensual. Werewolf and Frankenstein. It's gonna be fast but deliberate. I like sensual. Yeah, I'll go zombie. Fucking love werewolves. I'll go zombie and Dracula. All right.
Zombie and Dracula.
Would you rather be struck
Zombie can just watch.
Nah, true.
by lightning? Would you rather be struck by lightning
Kind of
in
dead
a?
weight.
You done, Beckett?
Sorry. I had to throw it.
Would you rather be struck by lightning in a tugboat during a Category 5 hurricane,
Oh my gosh, there's a lot
Or-
of layers.
or drive through an F5 tornado with a big wheel? Are we on? What the fuck? Are you guys thinking about this?
Who goes first?
Let's go with Vicky.
Why you always have to do me first?
Because I dealt with respect.
It's a hard one.
They both are going to be painful death.
Then I'm going out big with the big wheel in the tornado.
I think you have a better shot of living in the tugboat.
I didn't know our goal was to live through this.
I want to live.
They're both going to be devastating.
Category 5 hurricane in a tugboat on the ocean. I think it's going to be terrible, but I think you can live riding through a tornado on a big wheel. I think you're so fucked.
Yeah, but you can fly for a few minutes. That would be my only chance
Might
to
go to
fly.
Oz.
So you think you can live better with the tornado?
I think both of
You-
them.
you
It's
can-
going to be a rough go.
Yeah, but you can actually. There's stories of people sucked up
Yeah.
into tornadoes and they land 5 miles away perfectly fine.
Fuck, how dare I?
What if I get thrown in a lake or something?
Well, shit, Denny.
Isn't it ironic? Let us
Don't
work that song.
think. So you're going tornado?
Tornades.
Vic?
Tornado.
Bex?
I'm going Twister with the big wheel. I'll do it for the gram.
I'm going totally hurricane.
Oh, you're crazy.
Dog,
Oh,
South
a
Florida's-
Cat 5 on a tugboat?
What if
You're
shark gets you?
South
totally
Florida's-
dead.
You think a shark's going to fucking beat this shit?
I mean, you got hurricanes and sharks. There's so many.
Jump
things
in the
you
water is like shark tornado.
Oh gosh.
All right. Would you rather have nonstop vertigo, the bad kind, or nonstop loud, smelly gas? So you go if you're hanging out with Jen the entire
It's just
time,
nonstop.
you're just farting, it's smelling, it's terrible, or you are just having the worst vertigo. Beckett, you have a hot new 19-year-old you're into.
19?
I don't know what you're.
Jeez, that's young.
Being a dick.
Can't even take her for a drink.
You can't, but you can't stop farting. It's loud, it's smelly, or it's horrific vertigo. What do you go with?
I think I'm going selfish, and I think I'm going for the farting over the.
Really?
verdict, yeah.
Denny's?
Oh, I mean, you can't go anywhere. Everywhere you go, it'd be so rough.
You don't have a lot of personal relationships, and the ones you do, it's kind of cartoonish. Here's my fart friend, Denny's.
Yeah,
I love him. He's farting all the
you
time.
could lose them at any moment.
Yeah, I don't know. There's loyalty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but vertigo is just such like you're never yourself.
I have vertigo. Bouts of it. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's really bad. You have to go in a corner.
Oh, it's
You have to
terrible.
put your ass up and bend over like a fucking gopher. It's getting ready.
Is that vertigo? I'm kidding.
Vicky, what do you got?
I think I do vertigo because the other I would harm other people, so I'll just take
The other
vertigo.
one's rough.
Yeah.
I'm going vertigo.
Me too.
I don't want to fart on people. It's not my thing.
No.
I'm into it.
Last question, and then we're gonna wrap this fucking
Somebody would
train
have to be
wreck.
really into it.
Would you rather eat nothing but human gums and teeth for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
No.
or random butthole hair from strangers?
Oh god.
You can use a sauce of your choosing, but you have no idea if it's diseased hair.
Butthole hair.
It just every single day you get a serving of butthole hair.
I'm totally going hair because I'm a big sauce guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it.
I'm so going pH because I'm a sauce guy. They both are terrible, and I want to die if I'm eating gums and teeth. I don't care if I want to die. If I'm getting an STD from butthole hair, whatever. Just give me the butthole.
You got the Chick-fil-A
At least-
sauce.
At least I have sauce. I
Yeah.
can get fucking.
Yeah, me too.
Vicky,
I'm going hair and sauce.
Denny's.
I am definitely going sauce because I would just put it in blue cheese or something.
Yeah,
Blue
oh my
cheese.
God.
Oh my
Blue
god.
hair or blue cheese. I mean, blue cheese and hair.
Would be a rough combo.
Or blue hair. I don't know.
I feel like the pungent cheese would cover up the butthole smell.
Chat room, let us know. What would you take? Would you take hair or would you take gums and teeth?
No one's gonna pick gums and teeth.
I do want to say thank you to everyone that's listening to the program tonight. It's great to be back. It was a test run tonight. Hopefully the audio worked
Yeah,
out.
I think we made it through. I'm gonna go back through it.
I didn't see a lot of complaints for the audio. Let us know if there is. We'll try to fix that. We're going to try to get some video going on in the future, get some guests in here. But this is just kind of getting the band back together. And I'm tickled pink that we are finally doing this shit. And it's been a year, almost a year and a half
No,
since
it's
we've
great
seen
to be
each other.
back.
So
Oh, it's so
I love
nice.
it. Guys, if you don't mind, like, subscribe to the channel. If you can, go to Grimsley, leave some comments. We're still trying to get that thing going on. Thank you, guys. Anything to plug real quick?
Nothing to plug.
Okay, guys, we love you all, and
Bigfoot is real!
We're back, witches!
What's that sound? It's aliens and they're living in your town. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of aliens? Well, you should be.